But we have the pick and bans already coming up right here. It will be G1 banning speed.
No speed this series, yeah.
The first ban coming in there. Then ITB will ban. They're taking a little bit of time to think, it looks like. Which one will they ban? Of course, they have a few options to ban against G1. G1 is good on quite a few different tracks.
Sinuous, another Sinuous one, yeah.
Interesting. Sinuous was one of their better maps, definitely. Mime and Alcon, that is an interesting one.
But, I mean,
Ben and Binks, they played it before, but interesting.
Yeah, only 5 teams have played this map so far. I'm not sure how it looked yesterday. If maybe one of the teams have seen it out there. And yeah, there you go. We have Pool again. I think here from the casting booth, our favorite map. Gwen has had, of course, the world record on this map with a 1:05.16, so maybe he can get that one as well. And also seeing someone like Binks in there, and also Mime and Alcon were just very fast. I think we could see a 104 there if players have prepared accordingly. Then we see ITB picking Frosty, also a map that I can see, as Lars also said beforehand. ITB didn't get the best season across, but they don't have the worst win-loss ratio for that they have lost 6 matches. I mean, 8-24 is still better than like something like that they would just lose every match 0-4. So they have 8 map wins, and then we also see breaking in there from G1 being picked. So that's also a map that I expected a little bit, because Gwen and Binks are very strong on that one.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely a track like Frosty is one that favors ITB a little bit more with the ice sections, 360s. That is definitely one where usually the ITB lineup is pretty good. Then ITB also picking Grip right here. Quite a pace map, a pretty simple map. We will see if they will be able to do better than G1 there as well. G1 has a few more options. They will take Vortex, which is also the track that they are warming up on at the moment. That is the track that they will pick as their last one. And now just ITB needs to pick one more.
Maybe Airwalk. Airwalk could be a map to be seen, or maybe as the random map. This could be coming into play, but
it's off-road.
We see off-road. Okay, off-road.
Yeah, off-road is a very good map for Mime, especially. He has the world record on that one. We will see if he will be maybe able to do that again. And we also have Airwalk as the random map coming in, as you predicted. Alright, those are the tracks that we will be playing. We will start off on Pool, then go on to Frosty, Breaking, Grip as the first 4 maps, and then we also have Vortex, Off-Road and Airwalk as the last 3. Right, that is the maps that we will be playing in the match between G1 and ITB.
Yeah, so there you go. Good luck to the teams. Let's see if ITB can find their first win or not, or if G1 can maybe dodge the 3rd place, because they would be guaranteed 6th if they lose this match. I mean, it is still Kameen Corp and also Solary you have to play, and we're gonna see this match after this one here. So good luck to the teams, and let's see what Alcon and Mime can do. I mean, would be good that if they end the season with a 1-6 at least.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they're hoping for, to show that there's a reason that they have been playing, that there's a reason that they have been practicing these maps. Of course, they are down quite far now, but they have definitely not been that bad on the tracks. They have had some good performances, but it was just never enough to win until now. Of course, that is. Maybe G1 not thinking about their position at the moment, what or which kind of team they could be up against. So maybe they're also taking a little bit easier now, because they know they're qualified for the playoff session. We will see. But yeah, that will definitely be important. Now we start off on Pool, of course, which will be the first track. Definitely looking forward to that one. ITB doesn't have the greatest pace so far. We haven't seen the fastest times there. But we will see if they can come up with something. Of course, Gwen had the world record on that one, and maybe he wants to get it back now after Massa improved it by that much in the previous match with a .01. Definitely incredible time there.
Yeah, very good time there, .01. I mean, the world record was a .16 the weekend, just before the Super Week, and now we have seen this time getting beaten multiple times, probably 8 to 10 times, if you just like exclude every individual, like just improving it from like 0.10, but we have seen 0.14s, we have seen 0.13s, 0.10, 0.11. So that is great pace from the players all along. And let's see, it is Binks and Gwen versus Mime and Elcon. So let's see what ITB can do. They didn't have the strongest season so far, 0-6 in the standings. Unfortunately, well, this do happen, but let's see what they can do against Binks and Gwen, who also didn't have the best season, but can still get themselves, or already got themselves top 6, so maybe they also seem motivated now to maybe making it to the second round, or maybe even to the loser bracket final of the playoffs.
Yeah, Binks and Gwen have definitely been a little bit unfortunate so far throughout the season. They have been playing really well. At the beginning, they were looking like one of the favorites actually to take the season, but then they had a few matches where they just barely lost throughout. Yeah, we're starting off in the first round here. ITB versus GAMERSFIRST in the first round on pool, navigating the first few sections of the track. Very simple beginning, of course. We see most players will survive this. We have the small turn there where you go onto 2 wheels and set up for the next part. Binks dropping down a little bit in that section, falling behind the 2 ITB players and also making mistake in that entry right there. Falling down, Mime not with the greatest line there, falling behind his teammate. Now Gwen is in the lead. Elcon is coming a bit closer, maybe with a chance there, coming closer to the French player. Now let's go through the last part of the track. It is Gwen versus the 2 ITB players. Will it be an ace or will it be a draw? Both are possible outcomes here, depending on how well Gwen will be able to do this. Mime, I think, sliding out a little bit, will drop down. Binks will still be behind him, though. Gwen does a good identity, will not crash there either, and it will be a draw indeed. Oh. Yeah, 0.39.
Yeah, come on, that was okay. I said 0.4, it's a 0.39. We get there. Copium. So there you go, it's a draw. Binks with a mistake, and also GAMERSFIRST has beaten Alliance on that second playday, if I recall correctly. It was a 3-4, so they are one of the 2 teams, together with Big, of course, beforehand, who have beaten Alliance. So Elcon with the first mistake, also not getting the best gear here, so he's behind. So it is Mime battling it out against Binks and Gwen. Gwen with a great line. You can go for that 2-wheeler there, that you minimize airtime accordingly, but if you overdo it, you will slow down, or you will have a harder time to control your car in there. Binks this time not making a mistake. Mime and Gwen both sliding out, but Gwen with the faster reaction and finds himself on second position. This could come in very important at the end of the rounds, because this could decide between an ace or a victory, and right now looks to be an ace for GAMERSFIRST, but quite large gaps here on this map so far, also in that previous round. But it is Binks winning the round, also saving it there a little bit, and I don't think that he's gonna make a mistake in the end, but never say never. Gwen slowing down accordingly as well, and there you go, Binks with a 0.46 maybe. Ah, okay, 0.68. He saved it more than I should, because he had a really good checkpoint, but you could have seen Gwen and Binks both slowing down a lot, and there you go. There's the ace from GAMERSFIRST.
Yeah, Binks especially saved the entry into the first drift into the identity, because that one can be very risky. We have seen that before, players making mistakes, they're going a little bit too wide. And now going into the third round of the track. Yeah, Mime and Elcon both making mistakes, they're falling behind. It's definitely very unfortunate always if you make a mistake that early on and the round is basically decided then already. But at the moment it's looking a little bit closer between the players. Mime and Elcon finding themselves a tiny bit behind Binks and Gwen, setting up differently into the section. Elcon should have a decent speed behind, coming a bit closer to Binks and Gwen, but actually they extended their lead a little bit here going through the section. They are on great times so far, both on pretty good times. Gwen with a 0.30 flat there in the checkpoint, and Binks only 700s behind as well. It's looking really good for the 2 GAMERSFIRST players. Let's see, will they be able to survive the identity as well? Looking good so far. Binks with a very early release there, now setting up for this last turn. We just need to survive. Mime is coming closer, but he tried, it was not enough. He had to try there, and it will be an ace for Gwen and Binks with good times as well. 0.26 and a 0.30 as well.
Yeah, not even close here. Elcon 0.18 away from that, but it's 7-1 track point for GAMERSFIRST, so it seems to be like already tendency, map number 1, what the tonus will be on this one, that GAMERSFIRST will dominate this match, and we will see how map number 2 will develop, but it will be very hard for ITB to come back from that. Also, Mime not really getting too much speed out of it, but it is Gwen with the first mistake. So now Bings batting it out with Mime and Elcon. Elcon losing a bit of speed. So he's 0.2 away. Gets a good line over there, has a lot of speed that he has accumulated. And comes a bit closer towards Bings, who still leads the round. But still a close fight between the Polish powerhouse and then also Bings, the newcomer in the scene. But not anymore, kind of, but he has been establishing himself so nicely throughout the years, and now he finds himself to play in the top league and also performing together with the best out of the best players out there. And Bings can also deny the victory here, but Mime with a very good line, Bings with a more inside approach, Mime with more speed, and I think Mime has it here. Mime with a bit more speed in the ending, and 15,000s are tearing those players apart. It is ITB who are not out on that one just yet, but GAMERSFIRST still getting 1 point out of that one.
Yeah, indeed. Good ending there by Mime, but of course, as he was saying, Bings and Elcon, you could say, are the newcomers because they were out in theory before we switched to this 2v2 matchup. Of course, Bings dropping out of the TMGL season prior to that one. Of course, that is now almost a year ago. The players have changed, their performance has changed, and now Bings and Gwen have been definitely showing that they can fight at the top together throughout, especially last season, but also this season as well. It's a close fight right now. Mime fighting against the 2 G1 players, getting a good drift as well, going into the lead, overtaking Gwen right there, and Bings also not being too far behind, coming a bit closer now. Mime still in the lead at the moment. Good pace there as well, coming a bit closer. Bings in this section. We go into the identity. Who will take it here? Mime releasing so much more, and he's dropping down. He's finding himself super far behind now. He had to adjust. Elcon also far behind, and also making another mistake there. It was an ace for Gwen, and Bings coming in once again. Decent times, 0.30 and
yeah, but only decent.
0.41 as well. But they don't need more than decent at the moment. So that is what they had to do. They win 11-3, and that was enough for them to take the map as well.
Yeah, well, so after 5 rounds, it's over. We had 7-8 rounds in the past on the maps, and there we also see the highlights here. We see the ace, the second ace from GAMERSFIRST to extend their lead 7-1. Very important, of course. Also, not the worst times points the leads are coming in, and then also Mime was sniping away that first position from Bings to get that victory for his team. And now we go to Frosty, the next map. So definitely an interesting pick there from ITB. Let's see if this works out for them or not. Alright, so Frosty it is. Race is starting, and let's see what will happen there on this map.
Yeah, this is the first pick by ITB coming in. It's a decent map for Elcon and Mime. They have shown good performances here. They have decent times both with a 105 mid that they have been able to drive before, and they're also finding themselves in the lead at the moment.
Ooh.
Bings and Gwen both dropping down in the first eyesight section already. All of the players going for that safe approach, and Bings also clipping there. I believe Mime and Elcon were going for the ramp cut previously, but they decided to go a bit safer than now. Drop the maybe 500s that you gain from that, but just get it a little bit safer and secure the rounds, because they have been definitely losing a lot of rounds because they went for that more risky approach of the ramp cut. It is a very difficult technique, and if you are not very tight in the finish, you don't need such a risk. So there's a nice difference there to see, and now they just need to survive the 360. They should be able to get it here. They take it a bit safe. Gwen got a little bit closer, but it was not enough, and they take the ace on their map pick in the first round.
Yeah, so good performance, good and consistent performance. And as you have said, it is very important to just be consistent, and it wasn't close in this round, so Mime and Elcon just took it home with ease. And if you make, like every third round you make a mistake there, it might be worth to not go for it. So ITB in the lead, starting off with an ace, so they could maybe equalize this map. Gwen with a very aggressive line there, finds himself in that battle for first position already. Bings, not with the best amount of speed out of that one, but goes super outset. Then Mime also with a very good approach. Gwen going for the side ramp there, and look how much speed you have, but then of course there's a no-see afterward. Bings not with the best amount of speed, and he's out again. So Mime and Elcon on first and second. Elcon with a beautiful ice slide there, where you have reactor boost attached to your car, but Gwen is still in there to make some damage, to maybe deny ITB an ace or the victory. But it will be all decided in the ending. Gwen on first position right now, together with Mime. Gwen with the outside approach will have more speed, will land smooth in there. We have seen Paco going for that line as well in the regionals, and it definitely works out for him. But it is still Mime who's not too far away. Mime with a good 360, and he will stay in the lead. Elcon will get third, despite him not having the best ending, and Gwen at least getting 1 point for Gamers First.
Good round there. Once again, they're definitely improving their advantage. Also, when you said Paco earlier, I thought you meant Pac's old nickname. Paco's the player for Solo. He used to be called Paco, actually, back in the day.
Yeah.
That's how
I meant Pussy to Paco from
exactly.
Hungary.
Just I was confused there for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some nice trivia there. Probably not a lot of people know that when Pac was starting in Canyon previously, he was called like that. And we go into the next one. Gwen once again risking, and this time it's actually paying off, and Mime completely missing the nose steer there. It's only Elcon now holding the advantage for ITB. It's important to not get ace in a situation like this. As long as you're leading, you just need to make sure that you not get ace. Binks with a good part there once again as well, coming a bit closer. But Elcon is still holding in front. Now we come to the outside line. Pretty much Gamers First is the only team that is doing this line, I believe. And they did gain a little bit there. Elcon finding himself a bit further behind, but now going to the NT. Will he be able to get it here?
Wow,
Gwen is risking it. Gwen is trying. Will he be able to? No, Elcon actually takes it. And Binks also dropped down, didn't have the greatest 360 there, and that was an important round there by Elcon, getting the draw for his team when Mime crashed in the beginning already. And it's 6-2 now.
Now let's hope that ITB is able to win at least one match in this season. If Gamers First loses this one, they will get 6th. Yeah, they cannot get 5th due to that. But let's take a look what will happen in round number 4 as we see Binks off to a great start. You want to get that snap there where you just get it all speed out of that one. But Binks maybe a bit too far on the right. But the question is, where's Mime? Okay, Mime not too far behind. But still, I mean, lost a bit of time. Gwen with the incredible risky line there. It just incredibly close how you get through that, and also Elcon with a mistake. So it could be a good round for Gamers First. Mime not with the best ice slide there as well. Lost a lot of speed. Didn't get the best approach over the ice section and didn't get a lot of speed out of that one. So Gwen and Binks can rather save it into the ending and then get themselves an ace, because there's a gap of 1 second from first to third. But it is Gwen winning. Here by the looks of it, he's 0.26 ahead, but there's still the identity left, so let's not call it too early. There you go, 1, 2, and the third one as well. Gwen takes it with a 105.5, Binks 0.3 behind, and Elcon and Mime have nothing to say in this round. It is Gamers First who are coming a significant amount closer again, from 4 to 1 point.
Yeah, a good effort there for sure. Also driving decent times. 105.5 is definitely not too easy to beat. Yeah, it's definitely closer now, 5-6, and we go into round number 5. Let's see if ITB will be able to have an answer to that after losing, of course, that round pretty heavily with an ace. Oh, going so much over the edge there. Mime going very wide there. Will he be able to survive that line? He's definitely finding himself a bit further behind. Yes, he did survive it. Elcon fighting in the lead against Binks, who touches. He was a little bit too eager going into that outside dirt. Once again, Gren going for that ram cut as well. Did come a little bit closer to Elcon. And it's a close fight there. Binks in the meantime did make a mistake, so he fell behind in that nose steer line. It's a very difficult nose steer. It's definitely reminiscent of previous tracks that we had in TMGL. Very difficult nose steer section there. It is Gwen in the lead right now, going once again for that different line, setting up a little bit more speed, coming closer here and generating more speed for this free. We definitely gained a little bit there, I believe. Of course, just a bit harder going into that entity now once again. Gwen is in the lead. Will he be able to hold it? It's looking good. Yes, he will. It is a draw for J1 and ITV, but it was definitely beneficial there for Gwen, with Binks making a huge mistake at the beginning, that he was able to deny them the ace.
Yeah, very important there, and also good time from Gwen. 105.4. that is not too bad, all things considered here from Gwen, who had a .54 beforehand before the Super Week on this map. So could be his match PB that we have seen there. But let's see, because ITB also came a significant amount closer towards the 10-point threshold. So if they get that ace in this round, which already happened on this map, they can take it home and equalize the score. But also Gwen and Binks came here to play. They are first and second right now. Elcon not with the best start, but it is Gwen with a mistake. So this is very promising for ITB, but it is Binks who's so far ahead of his opponents. But let's take a look if this will still be the case after that ice patch here. Elcon with a good approach, has a lot of speed to work with, so he will come closer towards his teammate. But Binks still in the lead by .15, make it .1 now. Gwen 4 seconds behind, so we will not play a role. And let's see how beneficial this outside line is. It's .11 of a second. Let's see how much Binks will catch up. Of course, he has more speed at 0.06 of a second. Let's take a look into that checkpoint here. It is, I would say, almost even. It's only better if you approach it correctly.
Oh my god!
And Binks and Mime with... Wow.
Wow.
Wait. Huh? Binks and Mime with the same mistake? I was like, yo, was that the line?
No, they both hit the pole on the inside. Actually, incredible stuff from both of them to save that.
Also that Binks stayed ahead.
Yes, that was actually incredible saves coming in by both of them. Most players, after making that mistake, would have completely faltered and would have not even been able to survive.
And that's it.
Ran with the crash there. They needed the ace, and that should be it for sure. As long as Mime and Elcon, either one of them will stay ahead of Gwen, they have 3 seconds to work with. They will take Frosty for themselves. What an interesting map for sure. They have to. But going through this no you can fail this one, but both of them survive it very nicely there. Going through this 360 here as well, they can save it, they don't need to risk it. Of course, sometimes if you're thinking, I just risk it, what a line by Binks, wow. That was very nice to look at. Sometimes when you think you can save it, you just over-save a little bit, you drive a bad line and you're not as comfortable with, and then sometimes you can make mistakes, but it's looking really clean so far from both players, and they should definitely take it here, going for the inside line as well, going into the identity. They just need to survive it here. As long as they do that, they will take the map with the 7-9 scoreline. Of course, Mime doing a small mistake there, still stays ahead of Gwen though with that, and they take it. They take Frosty.
So equalizing the scoreline, it is 10-8 here, and we go to map number 3. But before that, we have the highlights before we go to breaking. So there you go. That was round number 1, where ITB just capitalized on mistakes from both Binks and Gwen very early on, and they just took home the ace. Then of course we also had that 4th round, where after ITB had a good start, it was just Binks and Gwen coming back with an ace. And then round 6 is where Binks was not able to deny, and Mime and Elcon... I mean, Binks was able to deny, but Mime and Elcon were able to just close out the match, or the map, even further and further. And let's go to breaking now. Map number 3, and let's see who takes it here, as this one is certainly quite interesting. One of the more trickier maps. We have a lot of effect blocks. The fragile here at the start introduces the map quite nicely, and then a freewheel section where you have to brake accordingly because you have watery tires.
Oh, we already see mistakes coming in at the very beginning. I believe it was Mime with a big mistake there, and also Elcon dropping a bit behind as well, going for a slightly different approach in this water section. Is finding himself a bit further behind, and he needs to overtake now to deny the ace, with his teammate making a very early mistake there, putting Elcon definitely a bit under pressure now to try to beat Binks and Gwen here, who are of course very good on this track. That's why they picked it. They have driven pretty good times here, but Gwen does make the mistake. Of course, however, Mime did another mistake as well. He was only 1 second behind it after the start. Otherwise, he would have been able to overtake Gwen there. But with the mistake, it's not enough. Elcon finding himself about 7/10 behind Binks. He can just save it here. He is 1.5 seconds in front. As long as they just survive it through the section here, they will keep the score the same. It will be a 2-1 lead in favor of G1. They take it really safe here. Not a lot of speed through the section, but that is enough. They take it. Elcon exactly 1 second behind. Yeah, Binks definitely did it really well there. And then Mime coming in 4th getting the victory for G1.
Yeah, still a very good time for Binks, even though he saved a lot. World record is still that 0.88 by pack. We're gonna see later in the last match, which will be very exciting, guys, because top 2 is not decided just yet. You know, it is Solary. You have to win that match, else it would be big who gets that second position. But let's see, Gamers First now also, of course, wanna not get 6th in this league right now, because if they lose, they will play against either Alliance, against either Solary or a Big. So that's not a hard, that's not an easy opponent to play against in 2 weeks. But let's focus on this round here, because Binks and Gwen off to a great start. Also, Elcon is not too far behind, but hits the pillar there, and it is only Mime now left to make some damage. Binks and Gwen, not a bad line there, but also Mime definitely not slowing down. Eats a bit of the penalty grass there, but gets a good setup over in that section. But still, Binks and Gwen leading the round. Binks again off to a great pace here, and finds himself 0.4 ahead of Mime and Gwen, who are fighting out for second place. Gwen, I think, with a mistake, had to respawn. Let's see what time Binks will pull into the finish here. I think this time will be quite fast, if I recall it correctly. Yeah, 1:13.6. We have a new world record, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? No, never mind. It's 1:12. Yes. Oh, I got you bait. That's great. All right.
Wasn't that fast.
Guys, yeah, I just wanted to test you, chat. Yeah? Fuck. Well, family friendly in game.
In game, yes.
No, damn.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Next round we have 3-2-2 between Gamers First and ITB. Of course, with that late mistake there by Gwen losing out a lot. Of course, he had the chance to maybe get an ace or a victory there, but it was not meant to be. We go into the next round here. Mime going a bit too eager into that part and crashing on the outside. He was having so much speed, but it was just too far with that jump and falling down because of that, falling behind all the other players who are doing the ice slide into the bowl downwards here. Binks going a bit further left than the other players, now going outside dirt in that section. It's a close fight between Alcon and Binks right now, with Gwen not too far behind as well. He could still make a difference in the identity that is coming up very soon, now going through this section, entry into the water. Gwen with a very good line there indeed. He is overtaking Alcon. Let's watch Alcon through the last identity here. Will they be able to survive it? Binks and Gwen looking good.
Really
Gwen
good.
A little bit less speed. Oh so tight.
God.
Alcon is trying, but it wasn't enough. He had to try it there. Binks and Gwen take it. Binks with a decent time there as well, 0.22, or good time as well, rather. And then Alcon and Mime on 3rd and 4th. Gamers First getting the ace and now 9-2 up. They have been really strong so far on their map picks.
6-2.
6-2. That already updated.
Yeah, new world record, 9-2 already. Yeah, the casters are getting tired here. No, jokes aside, it's a great match though, because ITB definitely is not showing any like signs of giving up. But it is, I think, Alcon who has been falling behind a little bit, so that is quite unfortunate from him, as he is 0.3 behind already. But Gamers First off to a very promising breaking here, because also in this round it was Mime who has made a mistake, and it is only Alcon now left to deny the ace to Gamers First. So, Binks with a good line. Gwen did it quite well as well. And we can see Gwen, very close to the wall. They had to oversteer, so Alcon comes a bit closer. But Binks off to a great time again. Plays really well on this map. Also, the 0.2 beforehand was well done. Very good time. Well, we could, of course, still at 0.8. 112, not 113, guys. Yeah, I learned from my mistakes. But also Alcon with a great line here. Coming closer, but I think Gwen can have more speed out of that one because he went wider. And there you go. This is now the 9-2. You already seen the script in front of you, right?
He's not making that jump.
He will.
Oh, he will. Actually, no.
Okay.
I remember Afi not making that and it looked like he had more speed. No, mind. I thought it was one block higher.
Yeah, I mean, the script says 9-2. That's why Lars said that as well. I have it here in front of me. But it's not going according to plan right now.
Yeah. That often happens, but going into potentially the last round here on breaking, Gamers First just needs 2 more points to secure their victory on this track, and they have been looking really good. Also Mime with once again an early mistake, especially in a fragile section, so because of that he even lost a little bit more time. He's finding himself over a second behind. If it wasn't fragile, it would have lost maybe like 3/4 there at most, but he had to wait for the reset to get his car back together. Now going to the next section, Binks lost a little bit of time. He's finding himself behind as well. Alcon with a good eyesight here, overtaking Gwen for the first position. It would be very important for him to get the first place here because Mime, his teammate, is currently on last place. That's the only way for them to prolong the match. And Alcon is going very wide and he went even over the grass. He wanted to take more speed there. And he went a little bit too wide, and that is not looking good. Gwen and Binks are in the lead, and they can kind of save it here. If they just survive, it will be enough. Going through the section, Gwen definitely saving it a little bit there, you could see. Then going through this section.
Saving it, he's risky. Like, this time was so close there.
He was breaking in a straight line in the first identity, and he's taking it with a 113.4. His exit was really risky there. But there are two different techniques that the drivers sometimes do on these identities. Either they turn like that or they go straight. We saw earlier, for example, Granadi was always braking in a straight line. Yeah. And that is just a little bit of a safer approach, and that was what...
Because you slow down, slow down less.
Yeah, a little bit less. You slow down a bit more if you're turning.
Yeah, so there you go. Gamers first wins, braking quite in a dominant fashion here. We go to the next map, but before that we have the highlights here as well. There you go, it is round 3 here where Gamers First just pull ahead with that ace, of course, that they have secured there. Gwen so close there, but also Alcon with that mistake. So that seals the deal. And then in round 4 where Mime just is able to climb up to that second position, but G1 still won that round. So there you go, Binks with that mistake, of course. Also the Jinx, you know, they didn't play according to the script there. And let's go to Grip, map number 4. Could be the second to last map. Gamers First is in the lead. And let's go. Let's see how that goes. First round comes into play.
Alright, we're starting here. Grip, definitely an interesting map. And Binks already with a mistake at the very beginning. He clipped the border and he knew if he clips there, he will not have enough speed. Immediately went for the respawn and saved it afterwards. Gwen was going very tight there to the inside edge as well. Going through and is finding himself in the lead at the moment. Mime and Alcon slightly behind. And Binks, of course, with the mistake, finding himself 3 seconds behind. Gwen going a bit too risky, but he somehow survives it. Mime and Alcon also lost a lot in that section. Not coming closer there. I believe definitely Gwen lost a little bit of time there, but Mime and Alcon not being able to overtake. And Mime with the jump. He will be behind Binks as well with the respawn. And it's now only Alcon on second place fighting against Gwen. That is the only fight that we have going on at the moment, and it's looking good for Gwen at the moment. He has the lead going through the last turn. You just need to accumulate enough speed to be able to make the jump. Gwen was actually pretty close to the inside pillar there, but he gets it with a 101.77, solid time there. Then Alcon on second place, Binks on third, and Mime on fourth. It's yet another victory for G1 starting off Grip.
Yeah, very good start for Gamers First there again, just going into the lead from the get-go. And let's see if Binks makes another mistake here at the start, which could be very costly. I mean, he got at least that third position, but now he went a bit safer, but this was not a good jump. Also Alcon with a mistake, but Binks completely misjudging the line there, but also Alcon with a mistake. So this is very rare to see that 2 mistakes have happened at the start. So we have a 2-horse battle for first and also for third position here respectively. And it is Gwen finding himself in the lead right now, ahead of Mime. Gwen with a bit of a safer line now compared towards the first round, but still is in the lead. But Mime off to a great transition there and comes a tiny bit closer there towards Gwen. Only 700s is tearing them apart. Alcon also with Binks fighting it out here, so that's a very good fight to focus on, but still Gwen is leading the round. Mime with more speed though. The first place will be important to focus on right now. Mime with a good line. Oh my god, doesn't hesitate there to go on his 2 wheels, but slides there now, so Gwen comes closer. Gwen with a low speed, but it will not be enough, so Mime will win this round. And it will be Alcon on third, I mean. And this ties up the score, and Mime with a good time as well.
Definitely
101.4.
Really good effort there from Mime getting the 0.4, and also Alcon was in the fight earlier with Binks and he actually gained on his teammate. Even though Mime drove a 0.4, so definitely also good identity there from Alcon securing the victory. Did Gwen again? Yes, Gwen, there's a 3rd mistake in a row. What is going on? Gwen with a very delayed touch, I believe. I think he went a bit inside and then just clipped barely, didn't notice a crash immediately, but just had a little bit less speed. Also, Mime with a good part here will still be ahead of Gwen. But yeah, it's a fight between Alcon and Binks for the first place, even though it is quite far in between the two players at the moment. The distance is pretty far on this track, especially. Let's see, going through the water section now, there can always be a mistake coming up here with jumping out of the water. The entry there is very difficult. Going through here, it's looking good right now for Binks, staying in first place and securing the draw with that. Alcon is coming a bit closer, definitely risking a bit more. Going too inside there though, that was a bit too risky. He will still be able to get the risky finish. What is Mime doing there? Mime will let Gwen overtake there, even though he had 6 seconds behind, and
no need to risk there.
Yeah,
there was a very unnecessary mistake from the vice World Cup champion just behind Carl Jr., and he just got 4th position with that. So even though Gwen did that mistake, he has gotten himself that 3rd position. And let's see if we see another mistake at the start. This time it looked good. Everyone got the checkpoint, everyone made the jump. So round number 4 on track 4 will be prolonging with everyone just after the first ring checkpoints. And we see Alcon with a slowdown. So this could be a costly mistake for ITB, because also Mime didn't get the best line there. Gwen is in the lead right now. Binks insanely close there, almost clipping. I would have definitely gotten the slowdown there if I had chosen this line. But also Mime here not with a good turn, turns in way too early and was a bit too inside, so Binks is able to close in due to that as well. An ace would be huge for GAMERSFIRST, and also Binks has a lot of speed here. Mime with a slight better approach, no one sliding out there, and it will be a good fight here for that 2nd position. Gwen is long gone, 0.25 ahead. Let's take a look into the checkpoint. It is a 0.79, so this could be a 0.5 or 0.6 by Gwen, and Mime again with a mistake, and it's a 0.55 by Gwen. Binks gets 2nd, and that's 8-4, and it looks really promising for GAMERSFIRST to win this map.
Yeah, Mime was in a very close fight there against Binks. He had to risk it. He knew Binks would risk it as well for the potential ace right there. They had the small safety that Alcon was a bit further behind. And yeah, with that, GAMERSFIRST going up into the lead with 8-4. They're now on track point. They only need 2 more points to secure this track as well, which is ITB's pick. It was their pick, and they have not really been looking as good on this one so far. They have not really driven the fastest times. Oh, Gwen going way too wide there, sitting up too wide, and maybe Mime is trying to prove me wrong now. He is on a good start at the moment, in front of Binks, and then Alcon on 3rd with Gwen. Actually recovering pretty well. He's still in the fight and is closing up to Alcon as well after the mistake there. He had a different speed than going into that reactor section, and really good comeback here by Gwen. Also overtaking over with a slide, and Binks also with the slide. Alcon and Mime are now in the lead at the moment. It's looking good for them. They could get the counter jinx here and move up to 7 points themselves. If they survive it here, it's looking good for Alcon. He will be in front, and yes, Mime will take it with a 101.64. Alcon on 2nd place, and they get the ace with an 8-7 scoreline now, and both teams now back in the running for this track.
Back-to-back ace here, but for like both teams, so it is ITB closing in. It's 8-7, so let us see who will win grip. Will it be the 2-2 or the 3-1 in favor for GAMERSFIRST? And then it will be very hard for ITB to win 1 match in this season. They still need to find their first victory. Oh, but we see the first mistake being done by Gwen, clipping again, this time losing out on 1 second. Let's see what Alcon does. Alcon survives it. It is Binks and Mime on 1st and 2nd. Binks has to get that 1st position here, else it's a tie, and this looks really good in terms of GAMERSFIRST's POV, because Mime dropped a lot, and now Binks is 0.4 ahead of Alcon, who took over that 2nd position. And well, Gwen is also too far away to have a saying, but maybe Mime or Alcon will make a mistake, and then this map could go into GAMERSFIRST POV. And it is Alcon with the first slight mistake, but was still able to survive and stabilize, but that was so risky again. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but Alcon almost lost grip there, and it's 9-8. ITB in need of a victory in this round.
Yes, it really feels like they're not playing with interface on or something, because they're risking like crazy when they have 1 second of a buffer. That is definitely not the strategy that you want to go for in this 2v2 format, but they are 9-8 at the moment. GamersFirst is in the lead, but only slightly. A victory for ITV would mean we go into overtime, or of course an ace would mean a victory for each team respectively. Gwen a bit in the lead, but has a worse line here. ITB is coming closer. Mime and Alcon are fighting. Also, Binks not too far behind either. Now going into the dirt. Outside once again, Alcon with the greatest line, with a good recovery though through that. Will everybody survive the water? Yes, they will. We have a good fight coming up. But if it is a draw, GamersFirst will take it if Gwen stays in front. Mime really has to risk it. He's risking it a lot. But will it be enough? Gwen with the touch. Gwen with the touch. Mime will overtake. And also, Alcon got overtaken
This
though.
is it.
And it will not be enough.
Good round though.
That was a really good round, yes. Mime winning there with a 0.60, great time. Then Gwen, even though he did a small crash, also driving a 0.70 or 71 there as well. Good stuff by GamersFirst for sure. And they take the map narrowly with a 10-9 score.
10-9, and let's take a look onto the highlights as well before we jump to Vortex, which could be the last map. Of course, we had that fail at the start where Alcon and Binks both missed the first ring. That is a very rare occasion. And then also the fourth round was where no one has made a mistake, and then also Mime was not able to deny because he has done that mistake. So that was an ace for GamersFirst. And the round after that was another ace, but this time for ITB, which made that match so close, or this map rather. So let's jump to Vortex, also a very cool map to spectate, one of the maps that has been played the most throughout the season, and the world record here is a 0.21 by Bren.
Yeah, going through the first section, through some of the moving block sections that we have on this track, which makes it definitely quite unique. Binks going into the lead now after the quarter pipe. Now we have different sections here coming in. Mime and Alcon are going for a bug slide setup on this track right here. We can see them doing it here, and it's paying off there as well. They got a little bit closer to Binks there as well. Gwen finding himself a bit further behind the other players. Kind of out of the field right now. Nobody sliding out with the water tires, but Mime going a bit too far inside there. That is not good. His teammate though is still fighting for the first place. Will he be able to keep it up here? It is important to not get ace, especially in the first round of potentially the last map, because GamersFirst of course now on 3 points. They only need to win one more map. Binks is going so close. That is so risky. Oh, but he does survive it. It wasn't really risky, it was just very, very close to the edge there, but he does survive it. Gwen also will survive it after a little bit of time loss there, which didn't really matter because he had 7 seconds of a buffer against Mime on 4th place.
Yeah, so again, a very good start here for GamersFirst, starting off a map with another victory, so it's 2-1. And of course, GamersFirst has already won 3 maps, so they need one more victory. And ITB need to find 3 consecutive wins on the next 3 maps, on this, on Off-Road, and also on the Decido Airwalk, if they want to take home their first win. So this will be a hard task, especially against Binks and Gwen, who look prepared on this map, even though they don't go for the bug side. But in the last one, it didn't look too bad for them, all things considered. Binks with another mistake, Gwen with another mistake, leaving Binks alone in that battle for first position. And it is Mime and Alcon again, going for the bug side. Gwen minimizes airtime accordingly, and you can see Binks losing out a little bit of time, but it's still very close. And also Binks is not too far ahead of his teammate Gwen. Now Alcon with a slowdown. They were clipping the bobsleigh block. You can clip it a little bit and then slow down, I think. So it is Binks and Gwen again, 1st and 3rd position. They could extend their lead yet again. But Gwen not with a good line, so this could still be a draw. But Alcon...
Well, it is a very close fight at the front as well.
Yeah, true. It's very close. Mime has more speed, and Mime will overtake. Oh, but Binks with a good line here as well. It's so close. It will be Mime staying ahead. And Alcon also on 3rd. 51. It's 17 thousandths between first and second, and 33 thousandths between third and fourth, and it's 3-3.
Two really close different battles there around the field, and Gwen was so far to the right, went over the bump as well, but did survive it though, didn't really lose any speed with that. That was quite an interesting line here. He went as early as possible away from the spinner, so that is a good start this time. Often G1 was a little bit further behind. Now going through the section once again, it definitely looks like the backside is faster if you get it perfectly, but will they get it here? Definitely Mime didn't, and Elcon also lost a little bit of time towards Gwen and Binks, but it is still close. Will they survive this part this time? Yeah, they do it very nicely, and Elcon goes so inside, but he does survive. A good line there as well, and it's a very close round at the moment. It's good driving by all four players. It is Binks in the lead, but it's so hard to tell, and Elcon with a touch, he will have to respawn that and hope that he can survive it somehow, because he wouldn't make that jump. Elcon, Mime rather a little bit behind, coming closer. Will it be enough? I don't think so. This looks like the ace for G1, and they will extend, or rather go into the lead in this one with a 105.74, and Gwen only 300s behind his teammate. 6-3 in favor of G1.
Oh yeah, this looks not that good for ITB. They are in need of a victory in this round at least, but then GamersFirst would be one ace away of winning this match and send ITB 0-7 into the break before we have the All-Stars Championship for ITB at least that comes into play. But I'm not even sure if they're able to play it then, because I think it was only top 6 playing it.
Mime with a crash.
But I'm not that sure. So we have to check after that again, but of course ITB then has to just come back stronger afterwards. But it is Mime with a mistake, and also Elcon not too far like ahead together with Gwen and Binks, who are in first and second, so they could get another ace here, and then it would be 2 aces in a row needed for ITB to take home, or like just equalize the scoreline in that case, and then they have to win one more round to win Vortex. But that looks very, very hard for them, because also Gwen is on a great time, 1 minute, 0.7 checkpoint. I think that is a 0.4 or a 0.5. Okay, a 0.3. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. 0.1 away from the world records. So very good time from Gwen. And yet another ace for GamersFirst. Having match point now, only one more point is needed. It doesn't matter if they lose. If only one person gets second and the other gets fourth, 1 point is enough.
Indeed, and that will definitely be possible here. Mime and Elcon have been struggling a little bit in the previous rounds. They were a little bit slower and a bit more prone to crashes. Let's see what they will do this time around. Gwen going a pretty wide entry into that section. Quite a bit different to his teammate, and also dropping down a little bit. I don't think that was intentional, but... Oh, he jumps there as well. Will not have that much speed. He won't make the landing here good as well, I believe. So he will drop down a lot because of that. Binks is still in second though, and Mime going way too wide. That couldn't work. That couldn't work. That is it. Mime also getting overtaken by Gwen as well, who's only 1.1 seconds behind the leader. It is Elcon in the lead at the moment, also clipping on the landing there as well, by the way, so he's also now getting overtaken by Binks. They take that jump so tight, it is actually incredible, but there you can see Elcon just barely clipping it and losing speed. It is gonna be the match victory for GamersFirst, with Binks also driving a 0.49 in the last round. GG's to them, and this is quite important, because now they tie up with Kaminkop on 5th place, and depending on what Kaminkop does in the next round, they could overtake them in the overall score.
Yeah, so the last match will be very important, but there you can also see the highlights where Mime just secures the round win by just 200s. That was a very, very close ending. Just more speed over the Vortex identity, and the round afterwards was just when it all started to fall apart for ITB after a great comeback on round 2. It's just where Binks and Gwen got that ace, and then also the ace afterwards. So that's just how it